Welcome back to 15 Lanes Talk Game Week 2 review show. We are going to talk about Liverpool last minute heroics, Spurs shocking Manchester City, Arsenal flying, and Manchester United still struggling. Let's break it down. Let's start with Chelsea versus West Ham. Chelsea smashed West Ham 5-0, hands down. It was a no challenge for Chelsea. Yeah, West Ham started that game in high gear with Paqueta's wonder goal. And we thought things are going to go in West Ham's way. Maybe they will pick a point since both teams got points in the first game. So they needed to pick some points in the second game. But few moments later, Enzo equalized and the rest was history. The biggest talking points in the Chelsea game were the injury of Cole Palmer. Yeah, in last minute we saw Cole Palmer was on the lineup, maybe he got an injury in the warm-up and he was subbed off for Estavio, which gave this young Brazilian kid a chance to shine on the biggest stage in the Premier League in his first start for Chelsea. We saw the guy, he even assisted in that game. And another talking point in my preview show, if you go and check, I talked about João Pedro in the first game, game week 1 for Chelsea. When Chelsea were playing against Crystal Palace, he ghosted in that game. Both him and Palmer ghosted in that game. And I called out them in my preview show. If you go and check it, I said João Pedro and Cole Palmer, they have to shine in game week 2. João Pedro and Palmer, they were some of the players that stinked in game week 1. So I called them out they have to shine in game week 2. And West Ham was there for the take. And João Pedro came out on top by scoring 1 goal. He looked real good. Yeah, there was nothing. There was not apart from the VAR controversies, but nothing too much was there in the Chelsea versus West Ham game. It was just a walk in the park for Chelsea Football Club. Tottenham versus Manchester City. Tottenham shocked Manchester City again at the Etihad Stadium. I called for this in my preview show. You can go back and check even that video. But I said both teams to score. Because if you see on the side of Manchester City, they have Haaland, the Chuckies, the Foden was coming back. Tinaji Reinders in the first game, he really looked good. Yeah, so I expected Manchester City at least to score. But I came out and I told you, Thomas Frank made Manchester City, he knows how to make big boys struggle. You understand? And now he's in Spurs, which has a better team than Brentford. So I called out for this, but I never called out for a Spurs win. I just called out the game may end up in, both teams will score, but Spurs may shock the world. Because both teams were looking for their second win. Yeah, and Spurs came out on top. Mohamed Kudus looked good. You understand? Trafford had the worst day in his life. He even made a blunder. He was supposed to be given a red card because he handed the ball and also kicked Mohamed Kudus in the stomach. But you know, PGM or VAR, there is a contradiction in the games in the Premier League every week. I don't know if these referees just want also to make headlines. You understand? But if Spurs maybe lost that game, maybe that Trafford kick on Kudus would have become a point. Why? Blah, blah, everything. When Tottenham signed João Paulinho, I said the guy is experienced and he may help to elevate the Tottenham squad because he's a good tackler, he's strong, he's fast, everything. You understand? The guy got everything. And I said also, I don't know why he went to Bayern because it was obvious he was not going to play in Bayern Munich. But João Paulinho versus Man City, he was superb and he was man of the match. He won everything, he intercepted and he even scored. But the worrying part on the Manchester City side, Ryan Chuckie started against a better side and he ghosted. It is too early to judge him because there are only 2 games. In the first game, he came on and he scored. Yeah, he really looked good. But that was a Wolf weak side. You understand? But when he faced better opponents, he also ghosted. Plus, my guy, Tinaji Reinders, He also ghosted in that game. Also, another talking point is about Manchester City defense. Yeah, they lost Walker. They have Akanji may leave Crystal Palace because Fabrizio Romano reported today like Crystal Palace they sent a bid of 15 million for Manuel Akanji, and they transfer like only in the next 5 days the transfer may close. You understand? So I think Manchester City has to strengthen their back, because we saw their back line was lacking. Even though Rodri came in, he had some minutes, but he was not that sharp. But if he's back, will he improve Manchester City's defense? We don't know. But if you see when he's out, the defense is lacking. The defense was struggling. Kyle Walker left, they never replaced him. So for me, I think right now in these remaining days, if Guardiola and Manchester City have to challenge for the league title, they need to go and strengthen in the defense. He did well in the first part of the transfer, because their transfer came in early for the Club World Cup, blah blah. But they only and this guy, their left back also got injured. We don't know the length of the injury, but he got injured. So Ake came and played. So for me, I think Manchester City still needs to strengthen in their defense. Without strengthening that defense on transition, they are going to bleed. This season, Guardiola is going to bleed, and this is like a rebuild. He's trying to rebuild the team again with cash. Arsenal versus Leeds. Arsenal 5, Leeds 0. Arsenal just came to humble and destroy Leeds. Yeah, it put the damage there, and I called also this one in my preview show. If you go head to head, Arsenal had won 12 out of the 14 games, and they had only made 2 draws versus Leeds. This win over the weekend made it 13 out of the 15 games these two teams have faced each other. But the biggest talking points in this game are Victor Gyökeres. He went in this game with a lot of pressure. Even in my preview show, I talked about him like he needs to score in this game, because a lot of people were praying for his downfall. They're calling him like he's not fit for the Premier League, the pressure, blah, blah, everything. People talked a lot about Victor Gyökeres. And when he scored the second goal, he did this celebration touching his hair, because a lot of people bantered him like the guy likes to touch his hair. Every time he's touching his hair, he touches his hair more than he touches the ball. You understand? But it's too early. I said this in my preview show. I was like, it's too early to judge players. Yeah, it's only one game. Some players start slow and others adapt very fast. So Victor Gyökeres shined in that game, scoring 2 goals. Other talking points is Saka got injured and he will be out. Like reports came out this week that he's going to be out for 4 weeks. Yeah, with an hamstring injury, which means he's going to miss the Manchester City match, Liverpool match, and plus the Newcastle match, which is a big blow for Arsenal Football Club. We don't know. Will Noni Madueke step up on that left wing? Will he prove that he's worth 50 million? Arsenal invested in him. Because what I know, he's not worth 50 million. But right now, Saka is out 3 games. It's his time to prove people that, yeah, you talked a lot, time to silence the haters. You understand? Because football is all about facts. If facts change, opinion change. You understand? So most people doubt the ability of Noni Madueke. So it's time to change people's opinions, because he has 2-3 games to show the people, to show the world that, yeah, I'm Noni Madueke, I'm him, I can do, I am better. You understand? And he's facing 2 better sides. First Liverpool, Newcastle, and Manchester City. Those are real big tests. You understand? To show if he's worthy it, if he's worthy every penny. Man like Noni Madueke. And in Arsenal, also Odegaard got injured. Julian Timber scored 2 goals in that game. He really looked very good. Plus, Carafiori also made 2 assists. But also one of the other talking points was Eberechi Eze was announced and brought for a presentation at the Emirates, and the guy was all smiling. You understand? He was happy to be there. It's like his dream was unfolding right in front of his eyes. Let's see, will Eberechi Eze start against Liverpool? Another talking point about the Arsenal and Leeds game. Arsenal started slow in that game. Victor Gyökeres was making runs, but no one was picking him up. Mikel Arteta and Arsenal need to fix or address this issue. Because if the guy, his strength is not on link up, his strength is not on dribbling, his strength is in space. Just release the guy and he will do the rest. You saw like the first goal he scored, you just put the ball in the space and the guy, the beast was unleashed. You understand? The guy is not good. He's not good at link up, he's not good at dribbling, he's not good at many things. But he's a goal machine, he's a goal scorer. So Mikel Arteta has to use him on, he has to put more focus on his strength than his weakness. Manchester United won, Fulham won. I called for both teams score in my preview show, saying that both teams need a win or both teams are looking for a win, but they ended up sharing the points. And the stats are not looking good for Ruben Amorim. 29 games, 28 points. You understand? I made one video this channel saying Ruben Amorim will be the first manager to be sacked. You understand? And I based everything on his formation and the player he has at disposal. And one of the players that is going to cause him to be sacked or struggle a lot for Manchester United even to get wins is Bruno Fernandes, playing him in that deep lying position to detect the game from the back. We all know Bruno Fernandes is good when he's playing near the goal, but not far away from the goal, because Bruno Fernandes is even slow. He's slow, he's weak. You understand? He doesn't want to run, he takes long to make decisions. So putting him in that position is hurting Manchester United a lot. And also the Amorim system. When he came, he struggled because he never had the players to play in that system. And right now he has some of the players. He changed the front three. And we thought, even in my preview show, I talked about this. We thought like, will Ruben Amorim use his new front three or no? And he disappointed us. He never put all the guys on the pitch. He put Matthias Acuna up and Mount played in Acuna's position. Right now he's playing with 4 10s on the same pitch. And in the game against Fulham, we saw he played with 5 10s. Bruno Fernandes, Matthias Acuna, Mason Mount, Ahmad, and Ngumoha. 5 of them were on the pitch. So we knew some things are not adding up here, you understand? But at the end of the day, the biggest talking points in this game were Bruno Fernandes missing a penalty because the ref just touched him and like it made him lose the focus, blah blah. And right now, Ruben Amorim came out in the press conference and said Manchester United football team is not ready even to play in the in Europe. Like the team is not ready. He may be correct because he's always with the players. He knows the finances, he knows everything that's happening inside Manchester United right now. But for me, my biggest problem right now with Ruben Amorim is Bruno Fernandes and the way he made his transfers. I think Manchester United, in my opinion, they never needed to sign Benjamin Sesko and Brian Ngumoha, or they never needed to sign two, like a striker and another 10. They just needed one. Matthias Acuna was the only guy they needed. And maybe Ahmad, because right now Ahmad last season he played very well. He's coming up, he's a young talent. If you bring in Brian Ngumoha, which means it's automatic you have to drop Ahmad or play him right wing back where he's playing right now. Ahmad is also very far away from the goal, which means he's not going to cause any damage to teams. He's not going to hurt any team. And Mazraoui is injured, which means we are going to see if Mazraoui comes, is he going to start ahead of Ahmad, or Mazraoui is the one who is going to be benched? You understand? There are very many questions in Manchester United right now. Yeah, there are very many questions you have to ask Ruben Amorim. Because I saw the Manchester United squad when Ahmad came. Last season he was shining. I was like, they have got a gem in that guy. So I think they just needed Brian Ngumoha, one of the two, Brian Ngumoha or Mafias Acuna, and they never needed a striker. In this system, they would have used Bruno as Arteta uses Havertz, or they would have played Acuna right now where he's playing as the striker. Then he's followed by he's followed by Bruno and Ahmad. Then all the money they would have spent it in the midfield. Because even if we go back and talk, there was a rumor of Baliba, Manchester United wanting to sign Baliba. Even if you go back there, you will see who is going to partner with Baliba. Because at the end of the day, Bruno Fernandes is the captain. He needs to start. And his Portuguese, we don't know if the Portuguese coach will drop his countryman. He needs to play it's a World Cup year. Bruno needs to be called up in the Portugal squad. You understand? So I don't think Robin Amorim is going to be pushed to drop his captain. I don't think so, if it's going to happen. But this game against Fulham, it showed the first 30 minutes they were playing, but when the game went on and Fulham picked up, Manchester United that played against Arsenal vanished. They went back to the old saying. You understand? So at the end of the day, Manchester United needs to fix their midfield. That's the most important thing. And one of the problems right now Manchester United have, and I think one of the problems Manchester United have right now is Bruno Fernandes. And I'm very sure next year he won't be there because he's causing a lot of chaos in that midfield or team selection. He's a good player, but right now he's being forced to fit in the team by playing in that pivot, where he's not good enough. We know Bruno Fernandes is very good enough when he's playing near the goal, but creating from the deep lying position, I don't think like he's causing any damage or effect on the game. And Liverpool 3, Newcastle 2. I called out for this game. I also predicted that both teams are going to score. It's a yes, and I say this is the biggest game this week in game week 2, Liverpool versus Newcastle. We saw how the game went. The game was very physical. Newcastle put there all the situation to see that they win the game. You understand? And I think the better team lost this game, which was Newcastle. If you go and analyze the game and see what happened, everything, Newcastle was in the game 100% from minute 1. And the goal of Ryan Gravenberch came from nowhere, a God-given goal. From nowhere, Liverpool did not have any attempt on goal. But from nowhere, Ryan Gravenberch just got a ball near the 18-yard and he shot. Fabian Schär made a deflected the ball, boom, 1-0. Few moments later, Gordon got a red card from nowhere. Yeah, recklessness, being reckless for no reason. Because the Newcastle team, they are very energetic, and we knew what's going to hit Liverpool, that these guys are going to come with power and do everything to see they win this game. They had to put a statement there. Yes, they put a statement out there that they want to win this game, but Liverpool, with their God-given chances and goals, they came out on top. But the biggest talking points here in this game, if you go on the side of Newcastle, Bruno Guimaraes looked really good, and Newcastle went ahead to lose Tonoli and Joe Linton, who were really good in that game, putting with high energy, pressing, doing everything right. To injuries, they went on and they brought in new players there to see like everything keeps running, the system keeps running smoothly, and the players they brought in, they also proved the point that yeah, we are here, we have to win this game. They put the pressure on. And I don't know Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes is a winger. How did he allow Szoboszlai to lock him down? Yes, if you go right now in Szoboszlai's pocket, you will find there Harvey Barnes. Harvey Barnes did not do anything to Szoboszlai. You understand? Szoboszlai is not a defensive midfielder, he's an attacking midfielder, which means you can't allow an attacking midfielder to lock you down. Arteta used Partey on the right back position few games when Timber and White were injured, but at least we can know the idea that Partey is a defensive-minded player. He can play there. If he locks you down, we can be like, he's a defensive midfielder. Yeah, maybe there is no too much difference, because defensive midfielder, apart from distributing the ball, the best work is to defend the team, to defend for the team. That's what they have to do, to see like the back line is safe, yeah, and to break down the plays and intercept balls. But Harvey Barnes allowing this guy Spurs, like an attacking player, to lock him down, it was mental. And one of the biggest talking points also is Gyökeres. Gyökeres did not look good also. Yeah, he even made Liverpool concede the goal because he was shying away from the boy. That's how this guy Bruno Guimaraes scored the goal. And still, Florian Wirtz, the first game he ghosted. The second game he has ghosted 150 million. He has not shown anything. You understand? But for me, I'm not judging Florian Wirtz at the moment because there are only 2 games. Maybe he may pick up a few moments later after 10 games. After how many games? I'll jump on his case after 10 games. Yeah, but right now he has started slow, because we have seen many players who have started slow. Vidic started slow, Son started slow, and many others, and went on to shine. You understand? And this guy came with a lot of potential. And if we go back, some of the players that started fast on the high pace and they fell off in the same season, we can see Di Maria, when he was signed by United, he started on the high gear. We saw Robinho in Manchester City started on the high gear. Many players were signed and started in the high gear and they fell off. But this guy, he has started slow. Maybe he will pick up in mid-season or after 10 games, because right now we are seeing he's weak. And yesterday we saw Newcastle put a lot of power on him. They were just knocking him down. And we saw also that in the Bournemouth game. They put a lot of power on this guy and he fell down. He was just falling down. And Liverpool don't play with the team. That's the problem. They use a lot of, their game relies on wingers. So this guy is not, we may not see him flourish as we think. But for me, I'll judge him. I'll be on his case after 10 games. I can't just jump and start judging a player after 2 games. Yeah, he's still picking. He's a new player from Germany, blah, blah. Let's see what unfolds as the season goes on. And Rio came in this game and just put the dagger in the hearts of Newcastle. He's a gym, 16 years old. What were you doing at 16? The guy came and put a dagger in the hearts of Newcastle fans. But at the end of the day, the better team lost. Because Liverpool, apart from the God-given goals, even Salah was silent in this game. I know people who play fantasy are hurt. They lost a lot of points on Mohamed Salah. Because since Salah signed that new contract, even against Bournemouth, he did not do anything much in that game, apart from the goal. And if you see against Newcastle, apart from that Curtis Jones chance, Salah was really quiet. He was silent, yeah? He was like water in the pot. Nothing. He never did anything. So, let's see. But the season has just started. He has 1 goal. Maybe he's going to pick up, because Salah is like that. He's always silent, and from nowhere he picks up, starts scoring goals for fun. And Ekitike also, he has scored 3 in 3. Community Shield, Bournemouth, and Newcastle. Yeah, but all his goals are God-given. They are not convincing goals, but yeah, a win is a win. Yeah, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.